Hafide, I'm Nestor LeConte with the Pacific Daily News, and here are the top stories from the PDN newsroom. Information about a plan to smuggle a firearm into prison led to a lockdown at the Department of Corrections Manila facility from Friday to Tuesday, DOC Director Fred Bordallo Jr. said on Wednesday. After receiving that information on Friday, DOC went into lockdown mode and sought the help of the Guam Police Department as well as its federal law enforcement partners. On Saturday, DOC officers noted a vehicle entering DOC from the main entrance. They noticed that contraband was thrown over the fence and they followed the vehicle as it exited DOC. Again, they called GPD for help. Bordallo said the vehicle was later found abandoned. It turned out to be a stolen vehicle with fraudulent license plates, he said. During the lockdown, 2 inmates were seen in an unauthorized area of Post 5, and that will result in disciplinary action as well as kick off an internal affairs investigation, said Bordallo. A search of the area around Post 5 led to the discovery of contraband that corroborated with the intelligence received earlier. Bordallo said the contraband was part of a gun, and further searching resulted in the discovery of other parts of the same firearm. DOC resumed normal operations on Wednesday, Bordallo said. In other news, 80 years after the end of the World War II Japanese occupation of Guam, the remains of Japanese soldiers who battled with U.S. forces in the liberation of the island will be repatriated to their home country. In a brief ceremony Wednesday morning at the Adelup Governor's Complex, officials announced the release of the remains that had been under the custody of the Guam State Historic Preservation Office. SHPO Patrick Lujan said similar arrangements had been made for the remains of World War II American soldier repatriations. On hand to acknowledge the release were representatives from the Japanese government's Ministry of Health, Welfare, and Labor. Japan Consul General for Guam Ishigami Rumiko said it was a great honor to accept the remains of the World War II Japanese soldiers from the SHPO. The Guam chapter of the National Association of Social Workers is calling on Attorney General Douglas Moylan to remove public billboards that it believes dehumanize, stigmatize, and perpetuate racism, and at least one lawmaker, Senator Tom Fisher, has joined the call. Billboards erected by the Office of the Attorney General on May 30 along major roadways feature photos of some 40 deportable criminal aliens who Moylan is seeking to permanently remove from Guam. The billboards are part of what Moylan dubbed his Deport Air Project. Guam NASW President Jamela Santos said Wednesday that the billboards ultimately polarize our community. The social workers group has launched an outreach and letter writing campaign against Moylan's public billboards. In other news, senators on Wednesday passed nearly 24 measures, including Senator Chris Dueñas's contentious septic tank over aquifer bill and Vice Speaker Tina Muñoz-Barnes' $5 million appropriation bill for a shrine that reignited debate over a future hospital site. The voting capped almost 3 weeks of legislative session. Also passed was Senator William Parkinson's Bill 26037, which would temporarily lift the requirement to first establish a local cannabis testing laboratory in an effort to get the legal marijuana retail industry off the ground. It passed by a vote of 9-5. Parkinson's Bill 3937, which would expand Guam's Castle Doctrine law to apply to outdoor spaces within the boundaries of a home, also passed. The vote was 11-3 with one excused absence. Senators also passed Senator Chris Barnett's Bill 23937, which seeks to impose quantity-based sentencing for crystal methamphetamine and fentanyl convictions. The bill's intent was that the more drugs peddled, the longer the sentence would be, with the minimum prison term set at a mandatory 25 years. For more on these stories, go to GuamPDN.com and follow us on social media.